What's up, everybody? Tyler McLaren here with the HESN Football Podcast. I'm here with my mainest man, Jesse Card. How you doing, bro?
Good. Another week, man. Here we go.
It's going to be great. We had an unbelievable long weekend weather-wise, so to everyone playing football out there, hope you guys had a great weekend of weather and obviously some great football action in the nation's capital and around the country and province. So really good stuff we got going on the podcast today.
It was hot. It was
steamy. It was steamy. I felt bad for the guys out there because I was actually up at a cottage this weekend and it was no air conditioning and it was just so hot and sticky.
Yeah.
And it didn't really feel like
you're not complaining though.
Not at all.
You know, I hate it when people complain about the heat.
I know, because in 3 months we're going to be like complaining that it's minus 20.
Yeah.
And you know what? I got to say though that another great weekend of Ottawa football. We're going to do our quick little recap going on with all the other stuff outside of NCAFA right here. We're going to start, like we always do in the OUA, with our two local teams. We have the Carleton University football team Ravens, defeated Waterloo Warriors 57-0 or something like that.
That's what I would have expected.
That was the requirement of the team. They needed to do that, and they did it. So
they played on Monday.
They played on Monday?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. That's
so.
Or Sunday?
Sunday.
It was Sunday. It wasn't Saturday. I remember we were trying to watch it on Saturday.
Right.
And then we're at the CCHL showcase. We're filming on Saturday there. And we went to watch the OUA.TV, and none of the games were on Saturday. They're on Sunday because it's a long weekend.
Yeah.
So, but good for Carleton to get that W after a tough week one loss to Queens. Talking about Queens, the other side of the city, Ottawa dominates Queens. I think I saw it was 37-3 at one point.
Yeah. I didn't expect that. You know, like we saw Queens come out week one against Carleton and, you know what, say that, you know, they're going to be relevant this year. So we would have thought that, you know, without seeing Ottawa knowing what they're looking like, maybe a better game there. But offensively, couldn't get much done even with Jesse Andrews running the ball.
You know what? You look at it like what means more, the win against Carleton or the loss against Ottawa U? Yeah. You know, like at this point of the year, like obviously Ottawa had a bye week one, so we didn't get to see them. They were going to be going to McMaster next week, so we're really going to get a way better gauge. Like if Ottawa can play with McMaster and they've handled Queens, well,
for real.
I'm going to say that Queens' win against Carleton is probably a little more relevant than Ottawa's win against Queens. But if they go to McMaster and they get shellacked real good, then it's a crapshoot. And like you and I were just talking about, the Panda game now becomes a playoff game.
That's right. That's
because if Carleton Ravens lose the Panda game, if they lose to Queens and they lose to Ottawa in the Panda game, they have Toronto in between. You know, so
and Toronto looks decent too, right?
I think Toronto and Carleton are pretty equal. Like last year, I think it was like a 48-34 win.
They're in the same class, and
class.
What did they finish the season with? Guelph.
They finished the season at Guelph.
And Guelph doesn't look like any kind of slouch either. No. They're only getting better. They're rising. They beat Laurier, and Laurier is always right in the middle of the pack as well.
You know what? I think that's it's with that loss to Queens, it just made a real tough road for Carleton. I'm not saying they could have a 5-3 year still, and maybe won't make the playoffs because the way that the whole league
last
year, right? And the way that the league is set up, we were talking last week on the podcast. Not every single team has the same strength of schedule. So some team with an easy schedule might get in with a 6-2 record, and a team that plays Guelph, Queens, and Western, maybe they don't get in. So, it's part of the deal, I guess, with the OUA and the CIS, but tough roads ahead, but good games coming up, and you make sure you guys support the local teams. They play hard. They played hard, so it's going to be good stuff. Speaking about OUA football, actually CIS football, I was able to catch a Saskatchewan versus Manitoba game on satellite TV, Shaw Satellite TV, which is actually a really good product. I'm a Rogers digital cable guy. Not that I love it, but just that's what I have. But this Shaw Satellite was really wicked. They had tons of movies and tons of sports, and they actually had a Saskatchewan-Manitoba game, and they had a live broadcast, announcer, like the real deal. And it was amazing.
I think Canada West is ahead of Ontario in many ways. Like I think the people out there are getting more and more serious about the product. They're, Jim Mullen's a guy that you hear. He does the Crown Countdown, the Crown U show.
Yeah.
They do a great job, and this guy I look at him as being a guy that's really leading a charge on trying to make football in Canada a better product and getting better matchups. And I hope to see it happen over the next couple decades.
You know what? I gotta say, like I watch a lot of football. I watch a lot of NFL. I watch a lot of NCAA football, and I watch the OUA whenever it's on. Now that with OUA.tv, I can watch a lot more. But this was an ESPN quality broadcast. Like, I was watching it, and if I was watching Illinois State versus Virginia Tech, at 3:00 on a Saturday, this was as good as that broadcast. The replays were great. The announcers were good. The game was great. I think Manitoba actually ended up beating Saskatchewan. The quarterback from Saskatchewan threw a lot of picks. But it was a great football game. It was a great product. And I just wanted to just bring it up as sort of to tell people, like, if you get a chance, make sure you guys take some time, if you do, to watch some of these football games, because there's some great football being played in Canada. The OVFL, the OFC, the OUA, CIS. There's great football everywhere. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's great football in Ottawa. We know that. But it's great stuff, and we got a great product here. And I really was proud of the Canadian product that day. Yep. I was looking at it, I was like, that is a good product. There should be more of that.
Sweet.
So I wanted to bring that up there. The last team that we're going to take a look at before we get really into NCAFA this week, we're going to talk about the Sooners. Big W against Burlington. Haven't been able to see. I went to the Sooners website. It's not updated, but I think they won. I think I saw that they won.
They won. I think Jordan King, Elite Performance Academy athlete that was starred in as one of the guys that they followed in that web series. If you haven't checked it out, go to the HESN YouTube channel, or you can go to Elite Performance Academy's website, and they have it on their blog. We have 5 episodes up there.
Yep.
They feature Jordan King, and you saw the work that he put in there. Some of the habits that they tried to break him. So I guess it's working, because he scored 2 touchdowns. Haven't been able to see him. No. There's no video recap or anything. And you know what? I really think we've talked about this, Tyler. The Sooners is on the rise. This football league used to be like the pride of the city, and some of that is coming back. We talk about the way people think about the Sooners and the history that's there. It's amazing, but still got a little bit of ways to go. They got the right coach, I feel. They got the coaching staff that's super solid. Players are starting to come out from the midget leagues. The ownership is solid. You got a business guy back there running the show, but there's still a lot of work, I think, that they need to do as far as the production value, the website, just keeping people aware of what's going on.
Yeah, it's more about the awareness. Like, I can handle websites or information that I'm getting be not the top-notch quality as long as I'm getting the information. But I just feel like I was trying to figure out what the record is and what the standings and if there's stats or anything, but like trying to find any information about these games, like pulling teeth.
And the OFC doesn't have anything. Like I looked at the game highlights, and it hasn't been updated since 2014, and it's a text document. So I mean, that's what we're here for. So if anyone's listening and they want to do it, like, let's find a way to get this done as a group. House Edge Media and HESN, the new initiative that we have, is specifically designed to make it affordable, to just raise the production value. So that's just a call to action. I'm not beating around the bush. Like, let's get it done, boys.
Yeah, and it's not just for football leagues. If anyone's listening from any other sports, like, the whole concept of what we want to try to do is bring attention to these sports, bring attention to these athletes. By doing that, you're going to get their family members to care. By getting their families to care, you get their friends to care, and it's like this ripple effect. And we really want to help promote the sport, especially football.
And we've sure seen it in NCAFA.
Oh, we think so.
Like, there's recaps of 6 to 8 games in the league right now. Players have highlights so that they can showcase themselves to the next level, which is, as we know, very important, right? That was hugely impacted with Carter Wilson going down to the University of North Dakota. They got their first win, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that. 27-16 or something like that.
Yeah. So,
but again, our whole point is that we love the Sooners and we love to see them win. But we want the whole city to get behind them, and we want to help them get their amazing product in front of the amazing people.
Yep.
And we know everyone's busy, and it's that busy time of year, back to school and football's going and all that such, but we're always here. So if anyone has any questions, let us know. We're here at HESN.
So who do the Sooners have next?
Sooners, they got a game in Toronto against GTA. Okay. I don't know what the team name is, but GTA. And then their next home game won't be till October 3rd at Carleton U.
Okay.
And they have...
Now, when is the Panda, though?
Same day. But I don't think it's during the day. I think it's probably in the afternoon, 1 o'clock. So obviously a huge day of football in the nation's capital. Also very important weekend, as everyone knows. My birthday is October 4th. So part of my favorite part of my birthday is literally all I do is watch football for like 5 days.
So what do you want for your birthday, buddy?
I want nothing. I want beer and ribs and whiskey and my buddies, and we'll watch football. And that's what I like to do on Sunday. I got 2 fantasy teams, done my 2 fantasy drafts. My teams are mediocre at best. But I did get Aaron Rodgers 8th overall, which is pretty solid.
Okay.
But it's going to be a great weekend of football. The Sooners are going to have to make sure they can avenge that loss to Windsor. Eventually, they're going to face them again. But that's basically the city. In a quick recap.
Now, let's not forget, we don't try to talk about the Red Blacks all that much because there's a lot of attention on them. We don't need to cover it. But
and they do a good job.
But we're looking at them going to BC this weekend. And then they're in Saskatchewan, or I believe, after that.
Okay.
And then they're home again against the Argos.
Okay.
And the Argos just took a lashing on Labor Day weekend against the Hamilton.
Hamilton's a good team.
Yeah.
And I think the Red Blacks are the second best team in the East, in my opinion. And
we'll see.
I think so. And I think that when the push comes to shove, I think with this new guy we got, this new D lineman, I know we lost Whiteside, but I think this new guy we got, Lemon, he's going to come in. He's going to be a force.
Where is he from?
He played in Calgary out west for a whole bunch of time. He was trying out for the NFL recently, got cut. And who knows, there might be a couple other cuts that might come up. Ottawa's a great destination. It's got a great city. So I'm excited to see what happens. I'm not trying to get my hopes up because I don't want to be disappointed. I'm a Cowboys fan, so I'm usually disappointed. But I will say
You're talking to a Raiders fan, man.
Yeah, but you can't get disappointed if there's no expectations. The Raiders just stink. And I'm cheering for the Raiders. They got Jack Del Rio now.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
He's changing the culture.
I like him. He's changing the culture. He's probably going to be the type of guy that...
Does he still wear that hat?
No, I don't think he does. But remember he was wearing suits for a while?
Okay.
Remember he was doing the suit thing for a while? But he just wore his welcome in Jacksonville. I think he'll do good in the Raiders. Amari Cooper, Michael Crabtree. Your boy, David Carr's brother.
They're young.
I hate that quarterback.
Well...
Carr.
It's your opinion.
He stinks. Oh yeah, I hate him.
You got Romo, so there's a lot could be said about that guy too.
Oh yeah, but you can't compare Romo to Carr.
No.
Yeah, Carr's a first round pick. Romo's
Carr hasn't been in the playoffs yet either.
Yeah, Romo's been in the playoffs.
I know.
Okay.
Since the first year that he played.
He made it last year.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But anyways,
I don't have my facts right here.
You never do, because But no, that we love to get a quick recap of all the other sports, all the other teams in Ottawa football. We're going to take a short break right now. When we come back, we're going to quickly go over the NCAFA games that we filmed last week. We're going to take our first look at potential All-Stars in NCAFA this year. And we're also going to let everyone know what games we're going to be at next week or this weekend for the NCAFA game. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, we are back.
Welcome back.
We're going to take a look at NCAFA now. We sort of did a quick graze over of the other Ottawa football teams in the city. Now we're going to really look at NCAFA. We're going to start with, let's rip the Band-Aid right off and start with the Bantam the Bantam Wolverines and Warriors.
All right. Well, I'll take it from here.
All right, go ahead.
So I'm coaching the DBs and then the defense at the Warriors. So it wasn't a good performance, I must admit. I think there's not a coach or player on that squad that would say that we didn't get beat up by the West Carleton Wolverines. Having said that, we also suffered a pretty big blow. First play of the game, our quarterback, first-year Bantam, James Keenan, threw about a 15-yard out that went 60, 70 yards. We looked down the field, and he's on the ground holding his leg. So we lost James. He did return briefly for a series and then couldn't carry on. But that definitely had an impact on the production of our offense. We had Andrew Fulton come in, number 12, and do a good job of manning the offense, but definitely our production was hindered. Defensively, just the O-line and the trio backfield of Owen Clement, number 7, 77, Hayden Tripp, and number 24, I'm not sure his name exactly, and the quarterback, Liam Reddy. They carved us out. That's all there is to do it. They ran through us like butter.
Yeah, sometimes you get beat. It really doesn't matter if you lose by 1 or you lose by 50. That game was a lot closer than the score represented, really. It got out of hand, obviously, late, but,
It's a good learning tool, I think, because
so.
We're going to see, we were out of practice last night, and guys were there and ready to work, and they're pissed off. So that's a team we hope to see again, but we wish the Wolverines the best of luck. They got a good squad there.
And you know what? The one thing that I noticed is they they have a very fundamentally sound and solid team.
They're well coached.
And, as the weather gets colder, they're the type of team that's probably going to – they remind me a little bit of the offensive attack that the Bel Air Lions had last year, where they didn't do anything fancy, but they just did what they did well. And their defense isn't I don't think as intense as the Bel Air defense was last year. So I do think their defense might face a really good offense and might have a little bit of challenges.
Now, are they going to – do you think that – the same thing as Bel Air, if you look last year, they had some adversity there where they had to look at themselves about week 7 and say, listen, do we put JP Simakinda as quarterback and kind of run a bit of a different style offense here for down the stretch in the playoffs? And they went through that, and you know what? Like, you think West Carleton's gonna have to be able to cruise with the same type of offense the whole way through?
I do think the one thing I noticed in that game is just how great a player Owen Clement really is. I seen him in the OVFL. I know he's a good player. He's a great kicker, but seeing him in the NCAFA with his friends, playing with his team, his local team, and he was really putting on a show. And I thought, like, obviously I know how good the running back is there. But like I was impressed with Owen Clement, and I was blown away as we talked about he grabbed the huge play over the top there.
That was just to let everyone know like how big of a play that was. I think we were only down by 14, maybe 17 at that point, and we had them in a 2nd and 11, and then they had a holding call. Anyways, it made it, I think, second and
Tennessee. A long way.
And we were in cover 4. We knew it was coming, and he went up, and it didn't matter. He went and grabbed it right out of the air, converted that. That led to a touchdown, and on it went.
And then I just love to see him play. It was a great game. So if you guys haven't checked it out, go to NCAFA.tv, check out the highlight reel, go to our HESN YouTube channel. You can check it out right there. Facebook page has been posted there a couple times, so you can go get it from there.
I also liked that he was smart. A few plays he was running and he would just step out of bounds, and I'm like, you know what, that's just smart because he knows the team doesn't need him to get an extra yard and take a hit.
But against Myers in a playoff game,
he probably would.
He knows when to do it. So that's a good point by you there. So you guys go and you guys let us know what you think of Owen Clement in that game. So go check out the highlight tape and check it out. We're gonna also talk quickly about the Pee Wee game that happened right before there. Yep. Obviously, another great showing for the Bell Warriors at the Pee Wee division. They look like they are a force.
Yeah, they've got a good squad. I mean, the highlights in my mind were one, they've got a trifactor backfield. They've got a decent O-line. Like they're as far as what the city has, I think they're up there for O-line and being able to get just dominate the line of scrimmage.
Control the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. And their backfield is number 23. I don't know the names of these guys. Number 21 and number 23. And number 1, who can step in as quarterback, that's Jake Papalia.
HESN member.
He's an HESN member. He's going to have a highlight coming out at the end of the year you're going to be able to see.
Yeah.
And actually on that highlight, you can click on the HESN little logo down in the bottom left, and it'll take you right to his profile. So really neat features. But I mean, they can run the ball so well there, and they've got a lot of versatility with that backfield. Yeah. So we're going to probably be seeing that Pee Wee team down the line.
Now, we also went out on Wednesday night, did a game, got canceled with the rain. It's been rescheduled till later in October. So that was a Stamps and
Eagles.
No, Stamps. Was it Eagles?
Wasn't it
Eagles.
Bantam?
That's right, yeah.
No.
Mustangs
Bantam.
Eagles.
Mustangs
Eagles.
Lightning was out that night.
So that game's been rescheduled.
What's going on with the Eagles?
Yeah, like I from what I guess they had a tough loss this weekend again, so it's been a tough year for them. Obviously, you lose the quarterback,
offensive coordinator.
You lose offensive coordinator, you different head coach. Not that the head coach was doing a worse job now. He's got different players, different coach, different year.
Yeah, apples and oranges.
But the whole point is it's a tough year for them. I know they struggled at Pee Wee last year, and you look at a lot of those Pee Wees coming up. They're a young team, I assume. They're relatively young team.
They're a junior squad, yeah.
I think that they're sort of, let's put it, they're earning their stripes. And, it go every year there's tough squads. So surprising there to see that. The other game that we did was we did the Stamps versus who did the Stamps play? I can't remember actually.
The Stamps played the Red Blacks.
They did play the Red Blacks. Yeah. That's right. And that
was
a good game.
We got to look at the Red Blacks midget squad.
That's right. And that was a good game. That was a nice physical game. Yeah. So obviously John Balzanal's brother, I forget his name too.
Yeah, I don't know. All these guys, We need you to register for HESN so we know your name, we know where you play, and we can we start working on figuring out who you are and letting the city know who you are.
You guys got to go check out this highlight tape because this game was a great game. There was tons of great plays there. I know number 15 John Balzanel. I know who he is.
Yeah,
and he was making some great plays from his brother who's tossing the rock at quarterback. Tavon Hibbert, we know there. We know JB Simikinda and Isaac Simikinda. Yep. Those guys played well.
Afram Jolak,
Isaiah Hickson.
Yep.
Right. So we know all these. We know tons of players there. They had a good game, so they got their first win because their first game, the lights didn't come on.
Right. 2 weeks
ago. So this was actually their first game when it should have been their second, and they're going to be playing again this week. So it's going to be another great week in NCAFA action. Now, what are some of the games that you're most excited for coming up next week?
So who do we have first off? Let's
Panthers,
recap
Raiders.
who we're going at. Okay, so Panthers, Raiders. I like that
Bantam.
clash. I just like the way the black and the blue smash.
And they're also OVFL teammates, a lot of these guys, right? So
That's
they form a team and they play in the OVFL league. So a lot of times, so that's a matchup we're doing on
Well,
Saturday.
I'd like to see the Raiders. See what happens with the Raiders. I think they're one of the. They're kind of like Carleton. Like they're this bubble team, right?
Yeah.
Like we don't know if they're gonna be competing at the top or.
Yeah.
And you know what? We're in the same position as the Warriors, right?
Yeah.
We got a critical game against Myers this weekend, and that's Myers is never gonna be a team that you can guarantee a win on.
No, they're always going to show up. They're going to play physical, and it's it's going to be a test. The other game that we're doing on Saturday is the Bengals versus Cornwall.
Okay.
Cornwall's coming into town in Garneau. Bengals, we have a lot of great players on HESN.
And that's Bantam and Pee Wee.
Bantam and Pee Wee for both those games.
For both those games.
And the reason and for people that are asking, the reason we're doing that Bengals game is they have been really supportive. We have lots of great players from the Bengals organization that have supported and become members of HESN.
Yep.
Because of that, we've extended that shoot, and we've decided to do the Pee Wee game as well because we have kids supporting it. So that's what it takes. You guys come and support these teams. Anyone that's a member of an NCAFA team, go to hesn.co, become a member, and we're going to come and film your games.
Yeah.
And that's how it goes. And we just want people to register for it.
And if you're serious about taking this game and having some opportunities with this game and the opportunities that open up as a football player as you advance your career, I mean, film is a huge important piece. So we've really worked hard at getting that price down to a affordable monthly fee and giving tons of value. So towards in the off season, we are going to have monthly information sessions starting this month in September. And we started to promote this on Facebook. September 20th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. here at the House Edge offices. And if you click on the tab on HESN to events, you're going to see the address, everything. We've got a showcase where we're doing a spotlight on St. James Prep School in Maryland, just outside of Hagersville or Hagerstown, Maryland. And we've got the head coach of that squad talking about what he looks for in Canadian players and some of the realities of what it takes to get down to a prep school in the United States. Hearing from a few of the players that are down there that graduated from NCAFA onto that squad and hearing about what they think and what their experiences are moving away from home, going to play football in the U.S. And we're just going to try to educate people on that option and also, what are the financial realities of that option.
And EPA is going to be here as well.
Elite Performance Academy, Coach Pat Woodcock and Donnie Ruiz are going to be here to talk a little bit about off-season considerations in their training, what sort of realistic goals you should be setting, and some of the options and packages that they have for this off-season if you're really serious about taking your game to the next level. That's important stuff to know about. We're also going to have Warren Steves here, who's the head coach of the JV Cumberland Panthers OVFL team. He's going to be talking about a little bit about the recruiting, answering some questions about NCAA clearinghouse regulations.
Yeah.
So this is an event that we're going to be hosting every month, and it's free to all HESN members. So if you want to get in, become a member, get your film ready, get your highlight, and you're allowed to bring your parents and one friend to introduce them to this concept. So that's coming up September 20th.
So we want everyone to show up there. We want anyone that's an HESN member to make sure you guys come, take advantage of this opportunity to learn a little bit about maybe something that you didn't know was an option. And if you did know it was an option, well, you're going to get more information about it than you had before. And we're going to have lots of good people here to talk to you about how to become better football players, how to become better people. And we're going to be able to talk to you guys a little bit and your families about what we are really doing with HESN. You can check out the House Edge Media headquarters right here. It's a really great space we have here, and we'd love for people to start taking advantage of it as well. The last game we're going to be doing at the Pee Wee and Bantam division this week is the Myers Riders and the Bell Warriors. So we're going to be doing those. A lot of great athletes on those two teams. I'm really excited to do those. So that's going to be on Sunday. That's at the new Minto Rec Center in Barrhaven. So those are going to be our 6 matchups at Pee Wee and Bantam this week. At the midget division on Sunday, we'll stick on Sunday, 2 p.m., we're doing Bengals versus Norsemen. It's going to be a good game. I think the Norsemen are going to come out strong on that game. It's at Garneau, so the long grass will make it a little slow. But I know Quinn Stewart's ready. He plays well there.
Dylan Perry's averaging 2 touchdowns a game right now.
He's the most explosive player in midget football right now. I would say right now, the way that he catches that football and the way that he turns it upfield.
Western's hot on him. He's been down there for a tour, met Greg Marshall, met some of the other guys, Tommy Flaxman, player that I played with at Mac. Got into coaching.
Well, I know Greg Marshall has a good eye for talent and recruiting kids out of Ottawa. Speaking to two guys.
Not.
Well, no, he didn't really recruit us, but he let us stay on the team to get going. And then,
true.
But
didn't cut us.
He didn't cut us, exactly.
Yeah.
He didn't cut us, so there must be something there. But I'll tell you right now, go watch the first game of the season, Dylan Perry, the Norsemen versus the Eagles. Go to NCAFA.tv, check out the midget division. Watch his 2 touchdowns there. This guy's an explosive player.
Yep.
Love to see him playing against some American talent sometime. And the other midget game we're going to be doing is on Friday night. It's going to be the Giants and the Eagles. We haven't seen the Giants yet, so we're excited to see them. And obviously the Eagles are the powerhouse, but
Brandon McDonald now recently added to the HESN team, so we're going to have a highlight coming out in the offseason about him. We got to talk about like some of these players. Like we're going on to week 4. Can you believe it already? And
no, I can't.
I think there's enough now to start to see kind of the cream of the crop rising up and potential all-stars of NCAFA.
Yeah. Okay, so you're let me ask you this then. You want to talk about that? Who's the best player that you've seen play at each division so far?
Good question. That's a tough question. Well, I mean, if we look at week 1 in the midget division, that Norseman Eagles game is probably, arguably, two of the best teams in midget going at it. And there's 2 quarterbacks there that I think are sure candidates, right?
Yeah.
Quinn Stewart heading the Norseman. And
9 touchdowns between the 2 of them.
Jacob Spinella. Right. Like you got to take notice, right?
Definitely.
There's number 9 there for the Eagles.
Number 9. Yeah. Is that Eddie?
Eddie, yeah.
He's a good player.
Don't know too much about him, but he caught my eye along with Brandon McDonald. That guy. The guy's carrying the load there, and Bantam. I've got to do a shout out to Liam Paquette for that Myers win. Punt return, several tackles. He looks like he's a real spark plug on that team. Second year Bantam.
He had a block I saw on social media this morning. He had a video of a block from last weekend. It was unbelievable.
Right.
You got to check it out.
And shout out to registering to HESN, and he's got a couple buddies, a couple basketball players that have registered too.
Awesome.
So you know what? I think you can't talk All-Star without talking about Liam Paquette.
I think he's the best player in their defense, and I think that that punt return that he had against Myers was the best play I've seen this year at Bantam.
I want to talk about the Wolverines. I mean, they're probably a disproportionate amount of O-linemen on that team that probably are going to be voted onto that all-star team, along with their backfield, like Owen Convent, like we talked about earlier, and Hayden Tripp are easy candidates.
Definitely. Honor Riel. We know Honor Riel's a baller. We know he's going to make plays.
On our squad, if you were to ask me defensively, Malik Youssef has got to go. He's an explosive player. Malik, I love you, buddy, but there's some things to get your game to the next level. You got to clean up. You got to pay better attention to certain things. So I'm not going to be afraid to say it because I know you want to be great. And he can be. He can be.
And you know what? Like when you watch his aggressiveness and when you watch how he flows to the football and how he finishes tackles, I think that he's really has the intangible stuff.
It's kind of like Dan Basabambo.
He really is.
We just released Dan Basabambo's highlight tape from OV. It had an extraordinary 600 plus views in the first 5 days.
Oh yeah, it's
that
amazing.
was sent to several McMaster coaches that acknowledged. They've received that. They're very big on him. I know Carlton's big on him. But that guy, just the way he tackles, I'm showing that clip to my defense at the Warriors to say that's how you tackle.
Yeah. And you got it, because he does finish his tackles, and with the way that, that play that you were talking about with Hayden in your game, he just broke through 5 tackles, right? So just jump at his legs.
Stiff arm. That stiff arm is
so
potent.
But, there are tons of great players in NCAFA at all 3 divisions. I think Noah Gauthier is a great running back, number 5 for them as well. At midget division, we're looking at the Balzanello brothers balling right now on TV, but I'm seeing John Balzanello. He's playing some great football.
There's a defensive lineman that needs to register for HESN. He needs to get some film of his season. A Pee Wee D lineman for the Warriors, 94. He's a beast. And I saw a couple plays there where he engaged, and then it was a sweep, and he got out there, he chased it down, and when the guy cut up on the sideline, he made the tackle. And that kind of motor is something that I know coaches at the next level, when you get a big guy that has a motor like that, that's a dangerous combination.
Isn't football the best?
Yeah.
Football is the best.
How excited are you for the NFL to start?
I'm really excited on Thursday night. We're going to be going to Gabriel's Pizza in Riverside South. Okay. My buddy owns the place down there, so anyone that wants to lives around.
What's the game?
It's Pittsburgh Steelers and New England Patriots, baby. So
and a recently freed Tom Brady.
So he'll have 9 touchdowns and he'll break the record. And because remember what happened after Spygate? He came out and he went 16-0, 18-0, and
it's a competitive guy.
And best quarterback of all time in my opinion. But any other All-Stars that you wanted to mention? James Keenan, I think, was obviously before the injury this weekend. He was definitely playing at top level.
When I think of All-Stars, there's guys, but it's all about their season, right? So we don't know what the status of James is, and for sure as a first-year quarterback, I put him up there as one of probably the top quarterback prospects coming out of Ottawa. But if he only plays a couple games this season, I don't think you can get him to the All-Star game with that alone. So other quarterbacks, you know what? We're just going to see. We're halfway through. We got some great games. Keon Williams, I think, is a guy that is going to be there.
Yeah.
I want to know what everyone else thinks. Okay, so if you want to talk about some of the players, if you're a coach or if you're a parent, you want to let us know about a player that you think is really starting to shine and coming into their own as a player. Let's hear it in the comments below this podcast on the HESN blog. Talk about it. Let them know. Get kids registered, and get your membership. And we'll get your highlight done for the year so that we can know who you are and get you onto the next level.
Well, I think that's a wrap for this week on the podcast. We went through tons of great stuff. We talked about some of the players that we think are potential all-star considerations. We talked about what games we're going to be doing this weekend. So make sure you guys check out social media and make sure you guys share where we're going to be, share the highlights that are going to be coming out. Isaiah Hickson's highlight just got dropped, so make sure you guys check him out. Great offensive lineman playing for the Stamps right now, going to Acadia. Unbelievable technician. Watch what he does. He's a great player, so check out his highlight tape. So shout out to Isaiah Hickson. And make sure you guys stay tuned. This podcast is now available on iTunes. So search HESN Athletics, and you'll be able to find it. Just fandangle the word HESN Athletics. We're going to have tons of great stuff on there. So make sure you guys subscribe on iTunes. It goes right to your phone. Don't have to worry about nothing. If you don't do that, you can go to hesn.co. Check out our blog, updating videos on there. We're going to have every podcast will be uploaded there. And also, if you go to NCAFA.tv and our YouTube channel, we're going to have the YouTube video of the podcast, so you guys can check it out on YouTube as well. So we've got a million different ways, well actually 4 different ways for you guys to consume this podcast. We want to thank everyone for tuning in to episode 3 of the HESN Football Podcast, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Peace!